all for being here today. The ones that knew my dad and the ones that are just here for my support. Thank y'all all so much. For years now, I have to admit, I have wondered what this moment would bring. How would I feel when my dad passed away? How would I handle him being gone? Would I mourn? Be sad? Be relieved? Be angry or hurt? I know for many of you sitting here, this seems like strange emotions for me to have toward a man that many of you knew so well and loved so dearly. But you all knew him differently than I did. You knew a friend, a buddy, Malgie, Big Mal, Malcolm, or my favorite, 38 Special. And for sure, there were probably many more nicknames that some of y'all had for him, but we won't talk about that today. But me, I just knew him as Daddy. He was certainly not what you would call a role model dad. He was not around too much. He didn't see many of my firsts. He didn't walk me down the aisle at my wedding. He wasn't there to see my children being born. He wasn't there for birthdays much. And he wasn't there for my father-daughter dance at the prom. I have prayed many a prayer over my dad in the 40 years that I've been here on this earth. But for the last 2 days, I stopped praying for him and had to start praying for me. First prayers were for understanding and answers. Then the guilt of all that I didn't feel for this man passing, my own father that I couldn't mourn over. Then came the prayers to stop the heartache and the tears. But then I heard God speak to me yesterday morning as clear as a bell. I heard the word clarity. I knew that I needed clarity. And until I could get clarity in this situation, I couldn't move forward to figure out how to grieve. I knew that there should be grief in this situation, but grief for what? Grief for his death, for losing my dad, for a relationship that I wanted with him so badly. For what? What was I to grieve over? One thing was for sure. God answered prayers. God sent a messenger yesterday in the middle of a school gym at a high school wrestling meet. God sent me a messenger, a family member, one I had never really had the chance to talk to, but God knew when the time would be right. My prayers were answered. In that moment, I knew that God had given me the answers to my prayers. So now that my prayer was answered, I needed to figure out what I was going to speak about today. I knew I needed to turn my answers to the Bible. The first scripture that I came to was Ephesians 6, 1 through 4. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with a promise, so that it may go well with you, and that you may enjoy long life on the earth. Fathers, do not exasperate your children. Instead, bring them up in the training and instruction of the Lord. I read it again, and the word exasperate continued to stick out in my mind. So I looked up the word exasperate to get a much better understanding of the scripture. Much to my amusement, the definition was irritate intensely, infuriate. Good one, God. How many times were these the words I used to explain a day spent with my dad? Then the next scripture I was led to was Colossians 3:21. Fathers, do not exasperate your children, so that they will not lose heart. Now this one started speaking volumes to me. So that they will not lose heart. This is where I was the Friday morning when we got the call that my dad had passed away. I continued to read and study, still looking for the right words to say. Wanting to follow the scripture I was led to, and the words that began to so boldly stand out. Honor your father. Honor him. That's what today is really about, right? Honoring his life and who he was. It was then that I knew what I needed to say to all of you, which led me to the next scripture God wanted me to read. John 15:13 says, "Greater love has no man than this, that a man gives up his life for his friends." I can tell you now, all of you that are here today and knew my dad, you were truly blessed. The faithful friend is a secure refuge. Whoever has found one has found a treasure. That is an example of who my dad was. He was a treasure to so many of you. Over the years, I cannot tell you how many times someone has spoke of my dad and smiled. That's what he was good at. He was full of life, love, and happiness. He didn't worry about very many things. He cared about those who he loved deeply and greatly. He would have given you the shirt off his back and the last dollar in his pocket, unless it was your dollar, that he had just borrowed, of course, that he was going to give back to you as soon as, well, we knew he wasn't going to give it back. But we all loved him anyway, and we gave it to him anyway. My dad was truly an awesome dude. He was the guy everyone wanted to hang out with, the guy you fell in love with from hello, the center of attention and the life of the party. I'm sure you all have stories to tell and stories that would make us belly laugh until our cheeks hurt. My dad was something else, someone we all knew and loved no matter what. You see, the best explanation for my dad's behavior toward me all these years was simple. My dad didn't know how to be a dad, or even a parent for that matter. He never really had a parent. Where was he to learn that behavior? As much as we would love to think it's instinct, it really is learned behavior. What my dad did know was how to love and how to be a friend. And that is what he was best at. So many times I've sat down with my dad and heard many of your names. I didn't know you personally, but I felt like I did. Whether you know it or not, you are all blessed to have my dad in your lives, because he did exactly as that scripture describes, the picture of a friend. He gave up his life for all of you. You were his life, and even if you didn't realize it, he had a family of friends that I know loved him so dearly and thought he was a pretty amazing guy. Well, I have to admit, there is a small yet certain type of envy toward all of you. I also have to admit that I'm thankful he had each of you as well. These 5 guys sitting up here as honorary pallbearers are certainly worthy of that title. Honorary friends and brothers. There is no other way to describe the friendship that you all have had for all the years I have known each of you. You sit here today minus one. One that I hope was able to meet my dad when he reached this next destination, and I hope they have reunited. My dad never got past losing Rabbit Fortner. Many of us did not. Rabbit was like another dad to me, as some of y'all were. And sometimes he took up the slack where my dad slipped. But I pray that he had a big reunion on Friday with Skinner and Jeff too. Through all of this, I have found something that I have searched for so long in a relationship with my dad: forgiveness. I read a quote last night that says, "Forgiveness is unlocking the door to set someone free and realizing you were the prisoner." All these years, I have been the prisoner to the pain that came with the relationship I struggled to have with my dad. And all these years, I have wasted so much time trying to change him instead of just loving him and forgiving him for the faults he had and who he was. He was my dad, and I loved him very much, and I know without a doubt, no matter the struggles we faced, that he was proud of me and loved me so much too. I know you have heard many people say, make sure you tell those you love how much you love them before it's too late. But it goes so much deeper than that, guys. Make sure you let those you know. Make sure you let those you love know that while you may not approve of all that there is in their lives, that you love them just the way they are. I know that I could have spent this time telling all the stories about my dad that would make us laugh until we cried. I hope that as the days continue to pass us by, that you all remember the good times and the fun you had with him, the smiles he brought, and the endless laughter that surrounded him. But today, to make sure that you all remember my dad as the treasure he was. The treasure that God allowed to walk into our lives in one way or another. The honor that we all had of knowing the one and only Malcolm Peterson.